Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm Brendan Lee. In this video, I want to talk to you about personal growth. Let's do Personal Growth 101. The first thing I want you to consider, like when you talk about, say you're interested in personal growth, right? What the fuck, what do you want to do? What are you up to? Probably the first thing to consider is like, what is personal growth, or what are the qualities that you think are indicative or indicate that somebody has grown? You see, when a person grows, what is that? It might be useful to clarify that at the beginning if you're interested in that kind of stuff, or you want to get started on your own as if journey toward personal growth. What's growth? Some of the things that I consider growth, like a tree. For example, for like a tree, what happens when a tree grows? Well, it gets bigger, it gets stronger, more resilient perhaps, it matures. It's like it's growing. At some point it dies, that's everything. Now, what is it to grow a person? Well, one of the things I think about are kids grow up. What is it when a kid grows up? Like, what are some of the primary things that change when a kid, say, becomes an adult, or a boy becomes a man, or a girl becomes a woman, or whatever? See, what's changing? Well, the body changes for one, but have you ever seen a person who is in an older body but hasn't grown up? So, I know this is a sort of pointing at the obvious, or pointing at what is perhaps easily recognizable, and that's their mind. What they're doing with their mind, sort of how they relate to things, their relationship to challenges, their relationship to learning, their relationship to other people, their relationship to the world. So it's about the person's thoughts, feelings, and how they relate. Yeah, that could be growth. Or, if somebody becomes smarter, more articulate, they learn a language, they learn a skill, and perhaps they grow in some way in that skill. So do you see the direction of growth? It's not toward decay, like, if I just sit around and watch TV and don't do anything. See, that is at least maybe maintaining, or perhaps declining. But declining in what? I don't know. We could consider usefulness, effectiveness, what I'm providing, the value I'm providing in the world, things like that. If I'm just sitting on a couch, eating chips, getting fat, I'm moving in the direction of lazy, moving in the direction of unhealthy. See, this is like not a growth trajectory, you could say. Maybe I'm growing towards laziness or growing towards fatness, but you see how when I say that, at least to myself, I don't see that as growth. I'm not growing, I'm dying or something like that. Like, who was that, Dylan? If you're not busy growing, you're busy dying, or living. If you're not busy living, you're busy dying, something like that. Okay, so personal growth. Now, what's that? Growing the person. Now, some of the areas that I consider to be personal growth, or useful for personal growth at a basic level. One, honesty. That seems to be something that is aligned with growth. One, because if I'm an honest person, well, I'm honest, I'm representing myself accurately. And two, if I'm honest with myself, it tends to kick my ass a little bit, as Peter would say. It's like I have to admit things to myself that I might not like. I've got to be straight up with myself about what I'm doing and what my real intentions are and things like that. And sometimes that may not be what I'm representing, and I have to be honest about that and know when I'm lying. So this, I find, is useful toward, if you want to grow as a person, I think it's useful to be honest. That's one thing. Another big area, and I get this from working with apprentices, is like something that you can do with yourself right away is at least develop the skill to serve somebody else, not you. To be able to put your self-concerns aside to either get a job done, or put your self-concerns aside for a cause or something else, not you. I suspect that parents if they're decent parents anyway, get this forced upon them when they have kids. They become more selfless because they have to serve the child that is not them anymore. And as far as I can tell, it kicks their ass a bit. They don't get to be the same asshole when they have kids. Now, that's if they're a good parent. I don't know. Bad parents, they're just doing their own shit all the time, and it's not what I'm talking about. See, so, and what I mean by this, another place where this shows up is in the military, where they are meant to take orders. And because, like, if I have to take orders from somebody, I can't be thinking of myself. I'm just the job. It's a job. And they don't care about my comfort. They don't care about my emotional reactions. They don't care about this me bullshit. So if you want to grow as a person, get over yourself to some degree, or practice that at least, or at least develop the skill. So you can be all about yourself. I mean, you honestly, look, at the end of the day, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care if you grow or not grow. All right, I'm just, for those of you who are interested in personal growth, these are some areas that I would look, and these are some areas that I would practice. At least put some time in, check it out, see if it's powerful. Yeah, you don't have to live it. It's up to you. Always up to you. Selfless. Being able to give up yourself for something else and not be so self-absorbed. Yeah? Another area to take a look at is your awareness. What are you aware of from moment to moment? Most people, most of the time, aren't very aware. Now, for example, I'm working with apprentices lately, and a lot of what I'm doing in this case, is I'm working with them on some very basic shit. Like, hey, did you notice that when you walked outside with your shoes and then walked back inside, you made a fucking mess? Did you notice that? Oh, no. Well, clean up after yourself. Hey, when you walk outside, the door swings shut. Whatever you're holding in your hand, scrape the door. Now the film that's on the door to block out the sun is getting damaged. Like, did you notice? No. Hey, when you cooked in the kitchen, you chopped up some vegetables, you made a mess. Did you notice? No. Do you know how this thing works over here? No. See, so it's like a relationship to objects. You can become more aware of your objects. You can become more aware of how you arrange your objects. You can be more aware of how functional certain objects you have are. What function do they serve? Are they serving that purpose or not? If not, fix it, make it excellent. See, you can make your environment excellent. You can make your tools excellent. You can have excellence in your work. You see, this is another area I would check. And this, now, why is this growth? Well, because I don't fucking know why it's growth. Like, why do I consider that growing? Maybe because in working on adhering to these principles, it changes me to some degree. I become more functional. I become more effective as a human being. I have a certain amount of power that I didn't have before as a person. See, like, be the kind of person that is powerful. Be the kind of person that, another thing, that others can rely on. Which brings me to my next point. Keep your word. If you say something, do it. Don't tell somebody that you're going to do something and don't do it. What kind of person does that? You run into people, I'm sure, that do that. Do you like them? Do you trust them? Do you enjoy their company? Or do you think highly of somebody who says, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then doesn't do X, Y, and Z? Like, what do you think of a person like that? Probably less trust. You probably don't think they're all that powerful. You're like, oh, Joe Schmo told me they'll be somewhere at 9 o'clock. They always fucking lie. Why do I care about them? See? So if you want to grow as a person, start keeping your word. And that will force you to confront whether you are telling the truth or not about your actions. And there's also a certain power in that if you develop it over time. Okay? So I would say that's a good start. Okay? Personal Growth 101. And then in addition to taking these things on, or at least practicing them or considering them, one of the standpoints that I come from in these kinds of suggestions, again, you can live your life however you want. I don't care how you live your life, okay? But at least consider, when I make these suggestions, I'm coming from a place of wanting to invite you to consider, what is powerful? If you want power as a human being, you have to be powerful. What makes power happen? You can find this shit out. If you want to be an effective human being, which is a certain kind of power, effectiveness in whatever area, you have to be effective. You have to pay attention. You have to notice details. You have to notice whatever it is whatever world that you have to notice in order for you to be effective. You have to create that. You can't just sit by and think that the world is somehow going to work out for you. You have to make it up. You have to make it happen. Yeah. If you want honesty in your life, you have to be honest. You can't do what you want. You have to be honest. You have to do what honesty demands of you. See how that works? So, and then again, like, these principles will start to confront the human being. Like, for example, if I'm trying to be effective at business, I don't get to do what I want. I have to do what the business needs. And to that, like, if I really did that, I'm sacrificing myself, my time for that. And it doesn't get to do with my whims. It has to do a lot with serving other people or solving a problem for other people, which that might kick my ass in a certain way, or at least I have to learn a different perspective, a different way of thinking, and get outside of myself enough to serve these other people. Yeah? And that will make me grow to some degree. Yeah? Another place, okay, last place you could look is in your own experience of yourself. And, are you a happy person? If you're not happy, you can discover how to create being happy. And it has a lot to do with controlling your own mind, but that's another story for another time and another video perhaps. All right? But if you want to get in on that kind of stuff, we have a workshop. It was called the Being Complete Workshop. It's now called the Ending Suffering Workshop. Come do that one. It will blow your mind. Or if you really work it, you can blow your own mind. That's basically how that works. And get over all the bullshit that you have going on that keeps you suffering as a human being. That's what that workshop is designed to do. And hey, you might grow a little bit when you do that. All right, but otherwise, check those things out. Little Personal Growth 101. Investigate, try them out, and then ask yourself, is this worth it? How do I feel about myself when I'm this way? Is this a way I want to feel? Am I more powerful or less powerful? Is it a better experience or a worse one? Does my self-esteem go up or not? See what happens to my experience when I do these things. And if you want, and if you like that experience, then keep doing those things. All right? So that's a little Personal Growth 101. From my perspective, you check it out. I'm Brendan Lee. If you want more, check the links in the description. I've got a forum. I do coaching with people. But most importantly, come and do a workshop because they're incredibly powerful. There's a lot of benefit there. Navigate my website and go find them, read about them, see what you want to see. If you have questions, email me. Otherwise, please hit me up in the comments. Text me, whatever. You know the drill. Much love. Take care. Till next time.